Jerry Springer, talk show host and former Cincinnati mayor, dies at 79. Jerry Springer, the talk show host and former mayor of Cincinnati, has died. His death was confirmed by his longtime publicist Linda Shafran, who said he died Thursday at his home in suburban Chicago after a brief illness. He was 79 years old. Jerry's ability to connect with people was at the heart of his success in everything he tried, whether that was politics, broadcasting, or just joking with people on the street who wanted a photo or a word, said Gene Galvin, a lifelong friend and spokesman for the family. He's irreplaceable and his loss hurts immensely, but memories of his intellect, heart, and humor will live on. Springer was best known for The Jerry Springer Show, which featured guests, real people from around the country, revealing shocking, often sordid details of their lives, cheating spouses, love triangles, incest. Fights were not uncommon on the show, with the audience often erupting into cheers of Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. Born in London during World War II, Springer came to New York with his family as a child. In the 1970s, he was elected to Cincinnati City Council and served a term as mayor. Springer initially did not think he had much chance of success. I remember when we announced the show in 1991, he once told the Cincinnati Enquirer, and I was thinking, who are we kidding? We'll be lucky to last 13 weeks. The show ran for 27 years. In 1970, Springer ran for Congress. He failed to unseat incumbent Republican Donald D. Clancy, but took 45% of the vote in a traditionally Republican district. He had previously spearheaded the effort to lower the voting age, including testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee in support of ratification of the 26th Amendment. 3 days after announcing his candidacy, Springer, who was also an Army reservist at the time, was called to active duty and stationed at Fort Knox. He resumed his campaign after he was discharged. Springer was elected to the Cincinnati City Council in 1971. He resigned in 1974 after admitting to soliciting a prostitute. Springer came clean at a press conference. Longtime Cincinnati newsman Al Shattuccotti pronounced Springer's career over, but Springer's honesty helped win him back his seat in 1975 by a landslide. In a post-election interview, Shattuccotti good-naturedly reminded Springer that he had declared Springer's career over. Springer told the newsman, "I'm glad that you were wrong." Springer was considered a gonzo-type politician with stunts such as staying a night in jail and commandeering a bus after the city took over bus service. In 1977, he was chosen to serve 1 year as mayor by the city council. Springer could only serve 1 year as mayor due to a political arrangement at the time that required the Democrats to split the mayoral term with a local third-party group, the Charter Committee, with whom the Democrats governed in an electoral alliance. In the city council and as mayor, Springer supported changing the local election system so that council members would be elected by districts, thus better representing neighborhood interests instead of 9x at-large system. But his efforts, as well as those of everyone else to date who has supported such a change, did not meet with success. In 1982, Springer sought the Democratic nomination for governor of Ohio. TV commercials for Springer's campaign referenced his use of a check to pay a prostitute, saying that he was not afraid of the truth even if it hurts. He failed to win the Democratic Party's nomination, finishing a distant third behind former Lieutenant Governor Richard F. Celeste and Ohio Attorney General William J. Brown, and his political career was put on hold. In the late 1980s, he played a major role in saving the historic Cincinnati Union Terminal. Springer considered running for the United States Senate in 2000 and 2004, but he backed down due to negative associations with Jerry Springer. He also considered running in the 2018 Ohio gubernatorial election, but decided against it due to his age. Even after his departure from politics, he was the largest contributor to Hamilton County Democratic Party from 1993 to 2018. Broadcast career. Springer's broadcast career started while he was an undergraduate at Tulane University on WTUL New Orleans FM, a progressive format college radio station. It continued while he was still mayor of Cincinnati with album-oriented rock radio station WEBN FM, which was noted for its laid-back and irreverent radio format. The station featured commentaries by Springer under the banner The Springer Memorandum. The popularity of these commentaries launched his broadcasting career. Springer was hired as a political reporter and commentator on Cincinnati's NBC affiliate WLWT, which had, at the time, the lowest-rated news program. Later, having been named primary news anchor and managing editor, he needed a broadcast catchphrase in the model of other great newsmen. With the help of some others at WLWT, he created a signature line, "Take care of yourself and each other." Within 2 years, he was Cincinnati's #1 news anchor along with partner Norma Rashid. For 5 years, he was the most popular one in the city, garnering 10 local Emmy Awards for his nightly commentaries, which were frequently satirized by Cincinnati radio personality Gary Burbank. Those commentaries would eventually become his final thought on Jerry Springer. Springer would remain commentator at WLWT until January 1993. He resided in Loveland, Ohio during this time. In 1997, the Chicago-based NBC-owned station WMAQ-TV hired Springer to serve as a news commentator. However, this proved to be unpopular among viewers as it resulted in the resignation of longtime news anchors Ron Majors and Carol Marin due to Springer's talk show. After performing only 2 commentaries, Springer resigned as commentator. Jerry Springer, 1991 to 2018. Jerry Springer debuted on September 30, 1991. It started as a politically oriented talk show, a longer version of Springer's commentaries. Guests included Oliver North and Jesse Jackson, and topics included homelessness and gun politics. In early 1994, Springer and his new producer, Richard Dominic, revamped the show's format in order to garner higher ratings. The show became more successful as it became targeted toward tabloid sensationalism. Guests were everyday people confronted on television stage by a spouse or family member's adultery, homosexuality, transsexuality, prostitution, transvestism, hate group membership, or other controversial situations. These confrontations were often promoted by scripted shouting or violence on stage. The show received substantial ratings and much attention. By 1998, it was beating The Oprah Winfrey Show in many cities and was reaching more than 6.7 million viewers. On July 10, 2002, the sons of guest Nancy Campbell Panitz, who was murdered by her ex-husband after they appeared on a May 2000 episode with his girlfriend, filed suit in Sarasota County against Springer, his producers, and his distributor, claiming he created a mood that led to murder. Ultimately, the estate of Campbell Panitz dropped all monetary claims against Jerry Springer, and the show agreed to waive its claims for malicious prosecution against the personal representative of the estate of Campbell Panitz and his counsel. In 2005, a UK version of the show aired on Britain's ITV network titled The Springer Show. A subdued and more tongue-in-cheek version of the US show, it beat its talk show rival Trisha Goddard 5-1 in the ratings. The VH1 celebrity series The Springer Hustle, which took a look at how Jerry Springer is produced, premiered in April 2007. In April 2015, Springer debuted the Jerry Springer podcast on his website, jerryspringer.com. It is also broadcast in the UK on talk radio on Sundays at midnight. Springer is the second American talk show host to travel to Cuba after Conan O'Brien for the Jerry Springer podcast. On July 26, 2018, Jerry Springer aired its final episode in syndication after 27 seasons before it began airing reruns on the CW on September 10, 2018. Judge Jerry, 2019 to 2022. Springer debuted a new courtroom show, Judge Jerry, on September 9, 2019. The show gave him the opportunity to host a more grown-up program and to use his law school education. On March 9, 2022, the series was canceled after 3 seasons. Springer hosted America's Got Talent on NBC for its second and third seasons, replacing Regis Philbin before leaving to concentrate on other projects. From January 17, 2005 to December 5, 2006, Springer hosted Springer on the Radio, a liberal talk show on Cincinnati's WCKY AM. He did the show from the Clear Channel studios in Kenwood on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and in Chicago, where his television show taped at the time on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Air America Radio syndicated the program for the most of the show's run. He hosted Miss World in 2000 and 2001 and Miss Universe 2008. He was also the guest host for WWE Raw on February 15, 2010 at Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa. Springer has also hosted The Price is Right live. From 2010 to 2015, Springer hosted a dating game show called Baggage, which aired on GSN. In July 2012, he hosted Price is Right live in Vancouver's Boulevard Casino. He hosted the show at Jack Cincinnati Casino in 2018. From January 2014, Springer hosted Investigation Discovery series Tabloid. He hosted The Adam Carolla Show on April 25, 2014, where he sat in for Adam Carolla. Springer guest hosted the 22nd season premiere episode of WWE Raw on September 8, 2014 in an attempt to conduct an intervention with the Bella Twins. Springer hosted the show Jerry Springer Presents WWE Too Hot for TV on the WWE Network in 2015. After a few years of the US talk show being broadcast in the UK, ITV approached Springer, who temporarily co-hosted This Morning with Judy Finnegan in March 1999 and again in 2000. In summer 1999, ITV made 12 episodes of the UK-based version of the series, Jerry Springer UK, filmed at the same studios as his US show. In September 1999, Springer made a pilot for a Letterman-style talk show for ITV called Jerry Springer on Sunday. The show received good reviews and ratings, and a further 4 episodes were commissioned to be broadcast in May 2000. 5 were actually broadcast during May and June 2000 under the name Springer. Jerry Springer, talk show host and former Cincinnati mayor, last words before he died. "I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens. When we mourn those who die young, those who've been robbed of time, we weep for lost joys. We weep for opportunities and pleasure we ourselves have never known. We feel sure that somehow that young body would have known the yearning delight for which we searched in vain all our lives, might have flown free and known the joy that we still seek.